Depends which version.
What's up, fanboys and fangirls? Welcome back to another episode of the What the Fanboy Show. Luke's here to stream the
I got two
Monday night football games.
I'll move it over here for Tyler, too.
I'm getting ready to turn the Orioles game on.
Oh my internet is going to be destroyed. So if the live stream is choppy tonight, you can blame these two hooligans. But yeah, we got Luke over there. Tyler's here in the middle. I'm Brett. Thank you for joining us a little later this Monday night. If you watched the YouTube video or listen via the pod, that will feel no different. Well, maybe it will. Tyler may fall asleep in the middle of the show.
It's possible.
But no, thank you for tuning in this week. We've got a fun little movie to review and talk about some new trailers and some other things that we did. So
Test.
Nothing like a mic test.
My mic was all the way over here.
Well, that's not my fault. You moved your mic.
I never touched it. So it's my fault that I never moved it.
Yeah, exactly. Let's start off with some trailers. There's a few new ones. The big one, of course, being
Kite Man. Hell yeah.
Is it big? Dude, we got two DC trailers. The first one being Kite Man, a spinoff of the Harley Quinn.
Kite Man, hell yeah.
Oh, Kite Man, hell yeah. Spinoff of the
what a title.
The Harley Quinn
catchphrase
animated series over on Max. I was not expecting this, and it looks like fun.
You weren't expecting this?
I didn't see the latest season of Harley Quinn, so maybe they said
this was announced a while back.
Oh, I was
more shocked that it still happened. Like amidst all the shuffling, I'm kind of surprised that it still came out or is still coming out.
Yeah,
I would assume this gets one season and done.
Probably standalone.
It was probably just too far along.
Well, at
Looks
Warner
great.
Brothers Discovery, you could have a finished film and they can shelve it.
Well, animation.
You can have an unfinished film and they'll put it out.
That's also true.
Anything is possible
at
Warner
know.
Bros. Discovery.
Yeah, our bitrate is being destroyed right now. So
I'll close one of my.
If you can afford to not stream one of the things,
I'll put it down to.
I cut mine off. It's the lowest possible quality. So you're just watching pixels.
Oh my goodness!
Just like the good old days.
The one we kind of talked about last week had a little bit of a teaser.
The teaser for the teaser trailer.
The teaser for the teaser.
That James Wan also made fun of.
Good. I love it when directors start bagging on marketing and I don't know why we do these things. But yeah, Aquaman 2. What's it called? The Lost Kingdom.
Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Yeah.
Aquaman 2.
What do you guys think about it? You guys are the bigger Aquaman fans than me. I liked the first movie, don't get me wrong, but
I think Luke kind of summed it up the best way you could when we initially saw it. He just sent us a text. He's like, looks fun. Don't know if it'll be good, but it looks fun.
Yeah.
I think that's a great way to kind of describe the trailer. It looks like more Aquaman. If you like the first one, I feel like you're going to like this one.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm happy that Black Manta is more the villain this go round.
Yeah,
on board for that. I think his new suit looks cool. Love that he has a trident. Let's do it. Let's get weird.
I'm just hoping that every action scene starts as a surprise again, like in the first movie.
Just
two people will be talking, and then it's just boom. We gotta go.
Yeah, they're on those the big stone on the top of the mountain or whatever, and then Black Manta's just lands next to you, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
When did you get here?
Wait a second.
Yeah, but no, I mean, I think, it looks a lot like the first one. And so I think it's probably just going to do a lot of the same things the first one did. And, I mean, it made $1 billion, so I don't see why Warner wouldn't just be like, do that again.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the bromance aspect of the story, too. I'm always down for a cool bromance.
Yeah, Patrick Wilson yoked.
There's a lot of yokeness in this movie.
A lot of muscles.
They do be swimming though.
They do be swimming.
Swimmers have
Lots of muscles.
Lots of muscles.
Lots of muscles.
Here.
Yeah. But no, it will be funny to watch them have to work together.
I was a swimmer, but I don't have any muscles.
Yep. Did you guys have any other trailers? I think there were a couple more. I can't remember.
Just gaming trailers. There was the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth gaming trailer from the State of Play. Mm-hmm. You guys know I played Final Fantasy VII Remake this year. Actually, I think it was like this past spring. Because it was like end of the year last year, beginning of this year that I played it. This trailer looks really cool. I didn't play 16 because I couldn't buy into it, but I'm really excited for Final Fantasy VII's like new trilogy they're making. Mm-hmm. Mostly because, and it's really confusing, but it's not actually a remake. It's like a new story in the same, like in a different timeline, but kind of following some of the same beats.
Yeah.
And they like work in that this is a different timeline than the original to the story. Like it's kind of cool.
What's it called? The second one?
The second one's called Rebirth.
Rebirth.
Deadfist, who hangs out in the chat often, he thinks the third one will be called Reunion, because I think what it looks like they're doing in the trailer is they're kind of working the timelines back together to like try to reset everything back to how it needs to be, because at the end of the first one everything just gets real weird. Mm-hmm. But I think, you look, it's remake, rebirth, reunion, and it's like, it's not bad.
Makes sense.
I think it fits. But the trailer's good. I mean, Final Fantasy graphics are never bad, so.
And reduce, reuse, recycle.
Yeah. Naturally.
6 games.
Those are the extra DLCs that come out.
No, recycle would be Destiny's.
Fair.
Only Destiny player get that.
Oh, yeah.
But like Baroque says, 16 is fine. 7 is the GOAT. I'm assuming you're talking 7 remake. I was late to the party on it, but man, it's so good. Except for the end. Baroque, shoot me a message sometime so we can discuss the last boss fight of that game, because it was terrible. It made me so mad. But no, I'm excited for it. They gave it a release date, February 29th, 2024. So it's coming out a little sooner than I thought it would, which is a welcome surprise, but also not, because there's a lot of things to play between now and then. Mm-hmm. Like Starfield. Like more Starfield?
More.
Yeah.
You can never have enough Starfield.
Correct.
There was one trailer that I found in scrolling that I forgot about, and it's Wes Anderson's The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar, which will be Luke's sleeper hit of the year, since it's 4 short stories or
Roald Dahl, baby.
Yeah, based off of Roald Dahl.
I watched the trailer for about 4 seconds.
Yeah.
It's so. I think my favorite thing about these trailers when they come out is like, it comes out and you're like, yeah, it's Wes Anderson thing. Mm-hmm. But the best thing is like the comments, because the comments on all of these are so like split down the middle. Mm-hmm. There's some people who are like, it's Wes Anderson, I can't wait to see it. And there's some people who are like, how does this guy keep making the same movie and everybody goes and sees it? And it's just so funny, like, having just now watched my first Wes Anderson movie, mm-hmm. I kind of can't wait to see it. Yeah. Just because it's so different from everything else that comes out. Yeah. For me, because I've only seen one.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I think we maybe talked about that walking out of the theater, and we may have mentioned on the podcast when we reviewed what was the one that came out this summer?
Asteroid City.
Asteroid City. I was gonna say Moonrise Kingdom. I'm like, that's not right. Asteroid City. Yeah, he kind of does make the same thing over and over again, but he's the only one doing it.
Yeah.
So it's not like the market's oversaturated.
Right.
Right. It's. I don't know. I don't mind.
He's not making 13 of the same Marvel movies every year, right? Like he's making them. Like this is pretty close in proximity to release from most recent project, mm-hmm. but I mean prior to that, there's a pretty decent gap, wasn't there? Like what was the last one before Asteroid City? The French Dispatch.
French Dispatch.
When did that come out?
20
during COVID, right?
I want to say
2021. Yeah.
Yeah.
So 2 years.
Well, that's pretty standard.
Yeah.
So, other trailers?
Most anticipated show for Luke Fall of the House of Usher.
Yes.
Yeah.
Finally got a full trailer.
Yes.
I felt like that was like way long ago. It was Tuesday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Naturally.
Of course.
Looks absolutely fantastic.
Looks
Looks
so
like
good.
Flanagan is back in his bag. I cannot wait, and comes right at the perfect time.
What did
right
they,
in the middle of October.
What did they say? Brett, you had mentioned something about the trailer because they referred to Flanagan as something.
From creator...
The creator of Midnight Mass.
No,
they called him something.
They called him a
It's like not like a visionary, but like they called him something else.
acclaimed creator. I have it on Twitter. Hold on. Right? Didn't I send that to you on Twitter?
I think so.
It was just weird phrasing because it felt like it wasn't like writer director or.
It's like
you just said from creator.
Yeah.
Weird choice.
Probably to avoid writer director. Because of the strikes.
Like I bring it up because it's his last movie with Netflix or last project with Netflix.
Oh, okay, right? Because he's over at Amazon now, right?
He has been Amazon. He has been like pretty open about like how he feels about the streaming model and Netflix in general.
Well, and then he had the thing with what was the Midnight Club? Is that what that movie or show was?
The
called?
show was called.
Where he did like the jump scare thing because they like made him do it, and he's like, I'm just gonna make it ridiculous.
It was so funny.
Like
it's like 50 jump scares in 2 minutes.
Yeah, he's pretty outspoken. I can't remember what podcast he was on. I was listening to, but he like his son. He was home with his kid, and his kid wanted to make a movie, so he was going to. Star in his son's movie that he wrote and was directing. He's like, yeah, I gotta get off this interview, man. I gotta go shoot a movie with my kid. And it's like, what? It was pretty great.
That's awesome.
But yeah, this looks fantastic. I mean, if there was any doubt, which there wasn't, at least on our end, right? Like,
yeah, I think the only doubt I would have had was like, would Netflix have made this like a terrible experience and
for him,
and he. You know, his heart may not have been in it because of that, but I'm not getting that from the trailer.
Having listened to a couple like long form interviews he's done, I don't think phoning it in is in his wheelhouse.
There's
he cares too much about what he's creating.
Creatives often, even with their hands tied behind their back, and if they're getting shat on, like will still like do the best of their ability because it's just it's their passion.
Yeah, and he's one of the better ones now, like right now.
Yeah.
He's as hot as could be.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep.
I didn't watch Midnight Club, but what I've seen of his, he hasn't missed yet.
Yeah.
So,
it's not his most popular. Most people don't like it. I liked it, but it's definitely. He only wrote like a couple episodes.
Didn't he only direct like the first one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not really even his.
He just
thing.
Produced it.
Executive producer type of thing. Yeah.
Attached his name to it.
It was still fun. It was interesting.
Good.
No, that's exciting though. I'm pumped for. Like Netflix has a couple creators or shows that like when something gets made, it's kind of like I'll stop what I'm doing to watch it. Like Stranger Things is one of the things. Like Luke and I will get together and binge it pretty much straight through.
Yeah.
Right? It's like it's what we do every single time. And like for this, it's kind of similar. Like this will come out and I'll probably stop what I'm doing to watch it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I don't know if Dana will survive.
Dude, I remember when Midnight Mass came out, and like I got off work that Friday evening, and I just went directly in my room, flipped off all the lights.
Turned it on.
Got some food and just turned it on, and I watched it till about. I think I watched 3 episodes, and then it was like 1 a.m.
Yeah,
and I was like, I think I should go to bed, and then I just woke up and finished it.
Well, and the 3rd episode's the one in the like desert, isn't it? Like
yeah, dude,
what a horrible time to
what a
pause.
terrible time.
I was kind of freaked out, and I'm a lot weaker than you guys. We've established that a lot. So like, I was laying in bed and just like. And this was when I lived in Park City. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you guys remember my room, but my bed was like right next to the window, kind of like the kids.
Yep.
And I like just kind of looked at it every once in a while, make sure there wasn't just a face right next to the window looking through my curtains.
That's funny.
And I slept like a baby.
Nice.
Woke up every 2 hours and cried.
Oh, well.
I need a drink of water.
Did anybody bring you water?
No, I just kept crying.
Yeah.
We had Flanagan with his haunting of series, and this week we get to review a movie that's not his, but it's also a haunting in Venice.
Mm-hmm.
A
haunting.
Is what we'll transition over to now.
Does it mean we're talking about the A Haunting in Connecticut or whatever? That old horror movie?
Oh.
The trailer would like pop up during football games or something, and I remember it kind of freaking me out.
Yeah.
When I was a kid. Yeah.
I don't recall that one.
I also thought it was just a really weird title. A Haunting in Connecticut.
Nice face there, Luke. This is Kenneth Branagh's third.
Poirot.
I can never pronounce his first name.
Hercule.
Agatha Christie.
Hercule.
Whodunit.
Hercule. You're trying real hard to make that sound harder than it needs to be.
Okay.
It's his third Agatha Christie Whodunit adaptation.
Yep. And this one has a much different vibe than the first two, and I really enjoyed it. I'm curious to what your thoughts are.
I really, really enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was a ton of fun. My favorite thing about it is the tone. But yeah, just even when the first trailer dropped, you're like, Haunting Venice, what is this? We started it, and then his mustache popped up, and we were like, what? It felt so different, even just from the trailer, and it is. The movie, I haven't seen the first two. I feel like we should get that out now. I have not seen Orient Express or Nile, because they honestly looked terrible to me, and Tyler hates the first one so much.
Dude, I hate it a lot. Yeah, it's bad.
But yeah, did you ever watch Nile?
No.
Okay.
No.
I didn't think you
did. But now I will, because I think this one looks good. So, I guess I have to.
Well, good news.
I hate watching
it. It just doesn't look good. It is good.
It is.
It's a good movie.
Yep. Yeah, I think it takes the best of the first two, which is genuinely just like it's Branagh's performance. Like he makes a good Poirot no matter what kind of movie he's in. Like,
is he super silly and goofy?
No.
Oh, that's how he is in the book.
He makes some pretty quirky remarks every once in a while, but it's a lot more tongue in cheek, or it's just dry humor.
Yeah.
Like there's a bit where they're like, "What do you do?" And he's like, "Well, I pretty much follow cases, and it tears away at my soul." And he just says it so plainly, and it's just like, like it's funny, and you feel bad for laughing because you're like, this dude is like on the edge of he's just on the edge. He hates doing these cases. He has like lost faith in people because he just constantly is solving these horrible murders. And he gets thrown into one.
He gets dragged into it. And I think the thing that needed to happen for this movie was A, the tone shift, and B, the supporting cast. The victims / suspects. The first two, too many big names.
It was like, who's big right now?
Right.
Oh, Daisy Ridley was
there were too many of them. There were always too many of them. It was this grand cast, and this one it's like there's still a decent amount, but
it's like famous actors or actresses, but most of them are more famous for supporting roles outside of Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah.
Like Jamie Dornan, what's his most famous starring role? 50 Shades?
Yeah,
which is
it's gotta be
a joke at this point.
Right.
And like all the other stuff he's in, he's a supporting person, and he's usually really good. And that's what a lot of the cast is, and they were fantastic.
Yep. Yeah, agreed. Even like Tina Fey, which we talked about last episode, like we weren't sure how that was gonna work out. Like she did a great job. She played it perfect. The strength of this script, I think, is in understanding the subtleties of these characters and how they relate or don't relate to each other, how they interact. And they're all, like we said, like talented actors and actresses. They're not just a big name because they were in, they were in a Star Wars, so we're gonna get them.
Yeah.
Like, just because they were in Star Wars does not mean they're. I'm not like throwing shade at Daisy Ridley, but like, I don't think her performance in Murder on the Orient Express was any good at all, and it really just felt like she was given that role because she was a big name at the time. None of these characters feel this way.
I agree. I think that's one of the best parts. Of the movie.
It does a good job of that like slow burn intro. But it gets creepy quick. So like
they do the thing they did in like the Candyman trailer. There's like a little backstory of the house, and it's like wood puppets. And I was like, I don't really like looking at this. Like
they're doing it to kids.
It's pretty creepy. I mean, it was the 40s, man.
Fair enough.
You gotta scare those kids straight.
That's right.
Or else they're gonna start another war.
What? Oh. Go ahead, Luke.
But yeah, the pretty quick tone shift is awesome, and it was my favorite thing about the movie that they said we're gonna throw this into a horror thriller blender and create a whodunit story.
Yeah,
and every single one I feel like that I know of that comes out is a comedy, and it's not that they're bad, but it's just like, okay, I get it. The characters are dumb, and they're getting away with murder. Cool. I think this is a better movie than Glass Onion, personally. I could argue, I don't even know if I believe it yet, but I think I prefer it to even the first Knives Out.
Oh, yeah.
Just because of the tone difference.
Sure.
And that's nothing against Knives Out. It's a great movie. But, like, I hadn't seen this before.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
I think the biggest question I have, because I didn't get to go see it, obviously, if you were here last week, you know I have a newborn at home, so getting out of the house is kind of challenging.
It's hard.
At least for right now. It'll get better, but right now I just want to make sure I'm home as much as possible. But I think the thing that really has to land in any of these is the conclusion, right? Like, the resolution has to be pretty much nails for these to work. And with you guys both giving it good reviews, it sounds like that's the case. Like, the resolution's satisfying.
Yeah. They, I think they do a good job of dropping subtle hints along the way. And
do they show you all of them at the end?
It rewards a rewatch, I think.
That's cool.
When you say, does it show you... Oh, does it show you all of the hints?
Yeah. Because like Orient Express does, and I think it's weird.
I don't think... they don't... Oh, they cut back.
They kind of do.
They cut back to quite a few. And they do the whole, like... You know, the detective has to explain it. It's like...
To everybody.
Here's how I came to the thing. That's
the Adrian Monk, here's what happened.
Right, yeah. So that is still there. That's a part, I think, is a part of the formula at this point.
It's that way in the books too.
Yeah,
that's just how the story has to.
But
happen.
it is a nice. I don't know. You never know exactly how they're going to try and, twist a murder mystery to make it surprising. And this is certainly not a wholly unique story in terms of like I've seen this kind of thing before,
as in like motivations,
the motivations and stuff. I've seen that before, but I wasn't ever expecting it in the film, and so good job.
Yeah, and it's like multi-layered reveal too at the end. Like there's a lot of things going on that fuel into it. And like I had my predictions going through it, and I was like almost right, but also not at all.
Yeah.
It's because there's like so much going on. But yeah, it was satisfying.
Good.
The other thing that, and this kind of goes back even to the tone thing. I love the way the film looks, like the cinematography, the lighting, and the set design. Like it's a creepy, old, rotting,
kind of drab.
floating house.
Yeah, like it's an Italian. Was it
a Venetian
piazzo?
Yeah.
Like, it's not just a house. It's a rather large thing with a courtyard in the middle, and you get a sense of that scale of the house, right?
That's
like
cool.
it's big. It's at the same time like the weather
giant storm
traps people inside.
Yeah.
Being in Venice and on the water, like the house moves because of the storm, and
everything's lit by fire because the electricity is out.
Yep.
And like it felt like
that does give a cool effect on film.
Like it felt like when I was watching the scenes, the room was lit by that lamp or that candle. Where a lot of times it's like you have a backlight on that, which is fine. You can do that. Like I want to see the movie.
Yeah.
You don't want to green light it?
Listen, I might talk about this later, but I'll just mention it now. I think a lot of shows and movies are getting a little too comfortable trying to use natural light. For example, I watched the first episode of Wheel of Time. There's a fight scene in the dark. Couldn't see it.
Yeah.
Couldn't see it.
Yeah.
That was a problem with Disney Plus. What was the Disney Plus show that?
Willow.
Oh.
Willow. I hate Willow. It'd be like, we got to do the thing, and then you'd sit and stare at a black screen and listen to people go, ah, use the magic leaf. I don't know.
Back to Haunting in Venice. I think the score is excellent as well.
It's so good. The clarinet is so good. It's just like, it's just images of the house, and there's this clarinet going. It's Hilder who did Joker. Gonna.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how to say her name. I'm sorry, but the soundtrack, it reminded me of the movie Enemy, which I don't think either one of you seen.
I've not yet.
A lot of that soundtrack is just a bassoon.
Oh.
Reed instruments, man, getting their shine. And I don't know, I've never heard. I'm pretty sure it was a clarinet. I shouldn't just say distinctly it was a clarinet. But like just a solo reed instrument. It's just never used, almost ever. It's always strings or brass. I really liked that. It was creepy.
Yep. Yeah, incredibly effective. And I'm curious, Luke, being the one in our group here who's a little more squeamish. Not squeamish isn't the right word. You don't like the horror movies. You talked about liking the tone. I felt like it struck a really good balance of like it feels like a horror movie without it being all that intense or scary through most of it. Yeah. Like it made me uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's not scary.
But it wasn't like I wasn't like constantly terrified that there was going to be a ghost jump out at me.
Yeah.
Like with
and there's
Insidious or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like,
and there's jump scares and things that they put in there.
Oh yeah, they exist. It's a part
they're
of
there, they're fine. But no, the overall scariness of it is
it's PG-13
it's great,
right? Like it's made for a more general audience, I think.
Like, and I watched Lord of the Rings this weekend. I'd say it's as scary as those. Where it's just like, there's a giant spider in this cave, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
And then you see it, and you're like, don't like that. And then you continue to just enjoy the movie. Yeah. It's like that.
Yeah. Yep.
It's just like, Brana's a little freaked out right now, and I don't like that he doesn't feel safe, so I don't feel safe.
Yeah, they do. Speaking.
Then the Warrens show up and everything's good.
Right? If the Warrens show up, I know everybody's okay.
Yeah.
Of cinematography, there are some like interesting lens choices they make. That's like
there's some cool dolly zooms in this movie.
Super wide angle. And it was it never took me out of it, but I was like, oh, interesting. What are they trying to say about this shot?
And I don't know if you do it too, but you like look around, you're just like,
oh yeah,
you gotta look in all the corners, be like, is there actually a ghost?
What am I missing?
I gotta figure out. Are they gonna try and pull my leg? Is there actually a ghost here? But no, like,
that's Flanagan burning you.
Yeah, he did it once, well, twice. And now every horror movie I watched, look under the pianos.
Like, I gotta scan every single frame.
I found 118 ghosts in Haunting in Venice.
Cool. Any other thoughts? Any cons? We've talked about a lot of positives.
It's mainly just me, but well, maybe it's not just me. Sometimes Poirot would be talking, and I'd be like, I don't know what you're saying.
His accent's a little thick. I mean, it is in the first two as well, but
I need somebody to invent subtitle glasses for movie theaters. Where if you want it, they give you the glasses and then it ARs subtitles on the movie screen for you. So that not everybody has to do it.
That'd be nice.
Could somebody invent that?
That's a great idea.
That is a great idea.
My idea. Put me on the patent.
You might want to file that now.
Oh well.
Yeah, I don't really have any
It's my Nike
cons in this one. I think it's super solid all around.
Yeah.
It knows what it is and it executes on that very, very well.
Yeah. It's really good. Like, I didn't have super high expectations for it, but it still like really surprised me.
Mm-hmm.
And really glad that I ended up seeing it.
I
also think it's like, I know a lot of people like me don't like watching just the pointless horror movies.
Sure.
Like, this movie's gross. Cool. Like, those are the horror movies I just don't like.
Mm-hmm.
And most people like to watch horror movies like that at Halloween time. But I don't. So I usually don't really... Like, I'll be in the mood for a fall or Halloween-ish movie, and it's like, I don't know what to watch. You can only watch Halloween 3 season which so many times.
So good, though.
Oh, it's so good. But this is...
Remember we were, like, late to the podcast because we were watching that one time?
It's because we were doing Try New Things, and that was your assignment that I gave you. Hashtag bring Try New Things back. But yeah, this is one that I will buy, and I'll probably watch it around like October time if I need a movie to watch.
Nice.
Yep. Awesome. Well, let's give our ratings. I'm going to give this a fanboy worthy. I think this is really, really good. Like I said, very few, if any, complaints.
Mm-hmm.
Fans of horror and murder mysteries, I think, can both really enjoy this.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it sets up for, like, there's a good path forward if they want to keep making these movies. They've proven they can do it well now.
Yeah.
I think they stumbled out of the block, but you've proven that it can work.
Don't join the formula.
Refine that recipe.
Reinvent it.
Refine that recipe a little bit for each new one, and you've got a good series on you. You could do probably 5 of these, not 5 more, like 5 or 6 total, 2 or 3 more, and not feel burnt out by them.
Yeah, same. I agree. Fanboy worthy. It's fantastic. I think people should check it out. It's a lot of fun.
Yep.
Also, last pro. The title of the movie is much better than the title of the book. The title of the book is Halloween Party.
Come on, Agatha. She can hear me, right?
Nobody knows.
She disappeared?
Mm-hmm. Probably
I
haunting
know
her.
the idea
She's
for the next
probably
movie.
haunting us right now.
Yeah, she wrote all those books and then just disappeared.
Hey,
she with Amelia Earhart?
This one had a...
He's like, we're getting out of here.
This one has like a world famous detective author in it.
Yeah. Tina Fey pretty much, I felt like, was playing Agatha Christie.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's a very interesting little, like, I didn't think about it in the moment, but now just kind of having talked through that, it's like, oh yeah, was she? Like, interesting.
She's like, you idiot, I need an idea for a book. Go solve another case. No.
How
about no?
All right, let's move over to our news. You now have a recommendation. You should go watch A Haunting in Venice. So
sick.
Who has news?
I kind of mentioned it earlier. Excuse me. But the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth release date is February 29th, 2024. Oh. That had been kind of looming, so they announced that at the State of Play for Sony last week. They also showed off some kind of the systems in Spider-Man and how you'll switch between characters, what their fast travel looks like because it's instantaneous. Showed off kind of the sides of the map, some more of the side content, what will be there. As if there was any doubts. I feel like, I've said that twice now, but Spider-Man looks good. Spider-Man 2 looks awesome. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Here's breaking news. They're doing Bachelor with old people.
Yeah, the Golden Bachelor or whatever.
Dude, how much worse can it get? When is enough?
When the writer's strike hits 300 days, just wait, baby.
Dude, that's going to be
sick. Oh my gosh.
That's going to be sick.
I feel like, are people not going to feel, like, people watch that to make fun of all the people on it. Are they going to feel a little bad about making fun of old people, or are they, like, fair game?
Dude, the old people make so much money for appearing on that. They're fair game.
Okay, fair game.
Yeah.
I just needed to know.
Same day as the State of Play, there was a Nintendo Direct. We did get a bunch of announcements, but I think there was one that stood out amongst the rest. Paper Mario 1,000 Year Door remake is coming out next year. That game I've seen a lot of people clamor for it online, on Twitter, on X, on whatever you want to call it, Threads, all those things.
They be clamoring.
So for those of you that have been wanting that game, you're getting it.
Nice.
They showed off some of the side-by-sides. It looks cool. I never really got into the Paper Mario games. Never really my thing, but I know a lot of people who really enjoy them. So. And there's a bunch of other announcements, too. Can't remember if there's any other major ones.
For the Nintendo Direct?
Yeah.
And they talk about the Wonder game a little bit?
They said, talking about the was elephant. That where they said, or was this separate, that they said that they had no plans for DLC for Zelda?
Yeah. They got
no DLC plans for Tears of the Kingdom.
You have a Mario vs. Donkey Kong. Super Mario RPG remake got talked about more. Princess Spotlight, so Princess Peach game. Detective Pikachu. The Prince of Persia 2D game. The remastering the Tomb Raider games, like the old ones.
A reimagined classic.
Oh boy.
Coming to a theater near
Luigi's Mansion 2 is getting an HD kind of remake. Which I think that's kind of cool, actually.
Dude, when are we going to get another F-Zero game?
They announced the F-Zero 99 came out. It's free to play.
A new one.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Get the Forza Horizon people. Dude, that'd be
so sick.
F-Zero Horizon.
Dan the Diver is a popular indie on Steam that's coming to Switch.
Nice.
Which is cool. I think they'd have to finish Fable, though, the Forza Horizon people.
A good point.
And then maybe we can get them to make an F-Zero game.
That'd be so cool.
Xbox like, here a bunch of money. We're going to take this. Thank you.
But would they're Xbox owned, would they be able to make a Nintendo game?
Maybe?
I don't know.
Multi-platform? No.
Yeah?
Yeah, so Paper Mario the 1,000 Year Door was like the big finale of the Direct. So
okay.
It's a big deal. So,
cool.
Yeah, there's some cool stuff in there. Splatoon 3 stuff.
Splatoon.
You'd mentioned the Bachelor thing. And just real quick in the chat, Baroque says the next will be a dating show for gorillas called the Silver Bachelor. Luke, do you get it? It's like Silverback Gorilla, but it's Bachelor.
Get it.
Well, other shows that either aren't happening or won't be getting made, like the Silver Bachelor.
But it did get made, but now it's not, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
For sure. Definitely happened.
That movie got made already. It's called Tarzan.
A bunch of daytime talk shows are kind of in the news this week. These include like the Drew Barrymore show.
I didn't even know she had a show until all this.
Jimmy Fallon like beats people or something, right? That was the other story.
There's
Jimmy feeding his employees.
Yeah. Oh, there's a whole bunch of things. And
everybody was
Real
like,
Talk
not
with
really
Bill
surprised.
Maher, the Jennifer Hudson show, Kelly Clarkson show, I think, are all kind of like on hiatus. The Drew Barrymore show had like announced that we're coming back, like we're still gonna do things, and there was a lot of backlash. And so everyone now is kind of like pump the brakes. That's a mix of, people being angry that they're not, being in solidarity with the writers and actor strikes, and at the same time, like, because that's all hot, I know that like guests are particularly nervous about going on and being caught in the crossfire, right? Like, that's an awkward situation. So I'm, my guess is that's probably, look, it's the point of a strike to be disruptive. So clearly it's working.
Yeah. If they do get like forced to go on a show, they should go on it and they should just sit there. Just sit there and just.
Oh, dude, this is. Sorry, I want to talk about this.
Yeah,
too.
Yep.
This is not in relation
No,
to the show.
we're just go on.
More stuff in the writer's strike. I think this is the coolest thing. So a lot of actors have kind of, we'll say, donated their time essentially to.
We're talking the like bigger name actors.
Bigger name actors are gonna you can bid or pay for them to do things for you. And so some of these, like, here's some of the offerings. Bob Odenkirk and David Cross will go to dinner with you for $10,200. The cast of Bob's Burgers will sing you a custom song for $7,200. Natasha Lyonne helping you solve New York Times Sunday crosswords via Zoom for $6,100. Lena Dunham painting a mural in your home for $5,100.
Oh, nobody's taking that one.
John Lithgow painting a watercolor portrait of your dog for $4,450. A pottery class with Busy Phillips in New York. Adam Scott will walk your dog in LA for an hour for $2,500. A Zoom with Barry Jenkins and Nicholas Bertel for $1,250. And a relationship advice squabble over Zoom with Rosemary DeWitt and Ron Livingston for $1,136. And there's a bunch of other ones too. But they're doing this because of all the crew members who are losing health care due to the strikes.
Yep.
So they're raising this money to help pay for the crew members who are out of work.
Yep.
But I just think it's really cool that the actors would do stuff like that. Hopefully nobody's like weird and does bad stuff with all this, but
people be people in though, so
Charlie Day will do an exquisite corpse drawing via Zoom with you. Kumail Nanjiani will play a 1-hour Mortal Kombat gaming session with you. His wife who is his creative partner, will also add commentary.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of fun things. The Mortal Kombat thing's only $1,000. Like,
oh wow,
that would be kind of fun.
Yeah.
But no, it's just cool little stuff like that. It's fun to watch, actors band together and all of this.
And I think it's important to remember that it's not just the actors who aren't getting paid. It's the crew who all of a sudden don't have jobs to work on. So it's important to for striking members who can afford to help with those funds Right. So all right.
You guys, any other news?
You guys? Oh yeah.
I do have other news.
Okay, well then hit me with them.
So in gaming world, there was a pretty big news story that dropped that everybody kind of gathered around and openly hated. I don't think there was a single person that was like, "This is good." Maybe
everyone disliked
the execs at Unity, but the big thing was that Unity announced their new method of making more money, which was, hey, after a certain number of installs, every install will cost the developers a certain amount of money. And at the time, it was installs, reinstalls, updates, tons of other stuff.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yep.
And it counted all the previous installs. So it didn't like start and then like you have to get to 100,000 and then the payment starts. It was like it counts all the times people have downloaded it already. And Unity is used by a lot of indie developers, and they announced this, and I think it was the Cult of the Lamb people, the developers who use Unity, super popular game from last year. They said, hey, download this now because we're taking this off the store because we can't pay this.
Yeah.
Just an awful business decision by greedy execs, and it doesn't ever look good when all the shareholders sell a bunch of their stock and then release this.
Yep.
And then it plummets. It's like, okay, well, they obviously knew it was a bad choice.
Yeah, executives had gone ahead and sold a bunch of stock preemptively.
They're
That's called insider trading.
Yeah, they'll buy back in after it dips.
Today, Unity's Twitter. This is what they said. We've heard you. We apologize for the confusion and angst the runtime fee policy we announced on Tuesday caused. We are listening, talking to our team members, community, customers, and partners, and we'll be making changes to the policy. We will share an update in a couple of days. Thank you for your honest and critical feedback.
Oof.
Anyway, can't wait for them to release the exact same statement, but have it be more confusing and it to tangle around fancy lawyer speak to be just the exact same thing.
And just like for reference, like some of the games made in Unity, Pokemon Go, Fall Guys, Beat Saber, Call of Duty Mobile, Cuphead, Rust. Rust is a huge game. Tunic, Cult of the Lamb, Hollow Knight.
Oh yeah.
And Silksong. There's so many games. Among Us, Untitled Goose Game.
Love Untitled
Gunfire
Goose Game.
Reborn, Death's Door, City Skylines, Subnautica, Return of Obra Dinn. Like, these are all not small audience games. Like, these games have reached thousands, if not millions, of players. Like,
they're not small audience games, but they're also not. They're not developers who are a part of massive corporations
they're not AAAs.
who can afford to.
I think Cult of the Lamb was 4 people.
Yeah.
Right?
Maybe 5 people.
What engine was Stardew Valley made in? That's 1 person.
Right? Oh, yeah. But just an awful scenario that I don't know how you.
To make a long story short, too late. We have just witnessed the death of the Unity engine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because who would use it now? Even if they just completely say, we're just going to keep going normal business. Nobody trusts you anymore.
No.
It's over.
Yeah. No.
People, they'll keep running their old games in it.
Yeah.
Because they can't afford probably to put it just in a new engine.
To overhaul
It's not how video games work.
Right.
But next game coming out, they're just going to go on Unreal probably.
We have a friend who's making a game in Unity, and I don't know if he'll finish it now.
Oh.
That is so unfortunate.
Jordan R.
Oh my gosh. I'd love to hear his thoughts on this.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Tyler, I think you said you had another story.
Yeah, I have a couple things left to hit on. There was a Titanfall 2 update. That was really cool. A game from 2016 got updated. If you remember last year, it was
very broken.
Yeah, it was like unplayable.
Even the campaign?
No, the campaign.
Campaign was fine.
Okay,
yeah, just multiplayer.
Like the servers were busted. Somebody had like hacked them or something. But they were able to get the servers working. The way they announced the update was so cool. It was in the Apex Legends patch notes. They're like, oh yeah, by the way, Titanfall 2 got an update.
By the way, Titanfall 2 is back!
It was up to 20,000 concurrent users on Steam, and I was playing on Xbox, there was 7,000 people active when I was playing. So kind of a nice little second wind for a really good game.
Anyway, Titanfall 3 is never coming.
It's never going to happen. And that's why I'm taking advantage of, while this is happening, I'm going to play as much Titanfall as kind of. I'm going to play some Titanfall. The other thing, Winning Time was canceled at HBO Max.
I didn't hear that.
Bummer.
Yeah.
I have to watch the finale still. That show was so good.
Yeah, it's canceled after this season, which I don't think is surprising.
I don't know viewership.
Yeah. And, well, I don't think anybody does.
It was probably
no one knows viewership.
Yeah. But it was probably also extremely expensive to get NBA
licensing would be awful.
Just the Lakers logo is probably, and the NBA shield is an insane price. Every time they show it, it's probably like $1 million.
Yeah.
But they won't pay writers.
Nope.
Great show.
Can't do that.
Man.
Yep, that was announced, I think, yesterday or something.
There was another Respawn story, wasn't there? Didn't the dude leave?
Yeah, Eric.
The Jedi.
The guy who led the Jedi games.
In charge of Star Wars.
Respawn developer leaves. Eric something or other.
Eric.
Stig Asmussen. Leaving. We kind of talked about, like, we wonder where he'll end up.
Mm-hmm. Probably in charge of another IP franchise.
Here's my. So I thought about this as soon as I think Luke was you asked, like, I wonder where he'll end up.
I was only concerned about Jedi 3.
Look, there's a game in development that could use somebody like him. That may have something to do with the Ninja Turtles.
Gears of War 6.
Put him on the Last Ronin, baby.
Ooh,
he'd be a good fit for it.
That could be cool.
That's my pie in the sky.
What if it's Gears of War 6 though?
Will you
be mad?
He would never do Gear 6.
How do you know? You don't know what he enjoys. You don't know what his dreams are.
He wouldn't do Gear 6.
No faith. No faith in your favorite franchise.
I don't know who will lead development.
Prediction for next year: Stig McDougal is going to be game director for Gear 6.
I'll take the Last Ronin one.
Okay.
I love it. Okay.
Separate bet?
Side bet.
Awesome.
But
my odds are
too.
way lower. So bet my side because you'll have a huge payout.
Yeah, if you win, you'll make money. Watch, if he gets hired...
1,500 to...
Like 200.
Minus 250?
I don't know about minus 250, but... Yeah, no, I think...
It's probably going to be like Angry Birds Mobile.
Well, they did just sell to Sega, so they're probably looking for people too.
Oh my gosh.
No, I think Luke brings up a good point though. It does make you nervous for the next Jedi game, right? Like, obviously the team that worked on it is still mostly intact, but not having the head guy there.
I think.
Then again, without God of War was fine without Barlog.
They've got two hits.
Yeah.
The formula's there.
Right.
So my guess is they've got the formula. He's probably bored. They're not reinventing the wheel with the third one.
You don't know that?
I don't know that. I'm gonna
guess. Have you played Survivor?
I'm gonna guess. Based on what I've heard.
Yeah.
Survivor is so good, man.
All right.
It is a bummer though. You never want to see that.
He could be moving on a bigger paycheck.
He could be getting in his own studio too, which would be.
Yeah.
Elder Scrolls 6?
Yeah, the big rumor for the week was
allegedly
court documents.
Was it a leak? Or was it just like somebody actually read the documents?
The court documents are public.
So somebody actually read them.
Yeah, you can go look at them.
The Elder Scrolls 6 was apparently going to be a Xbox exclusive. Which I don't know if you can be super surprised about after Starfield's success. But I am a little surprised that they don't want to jump in
Make a ton of money.
It'd be so much money.
I just think so. Here's my inside baseball thought. That game is 5 years out, 4 years out, maybe.
We'll say 4 at the earliest.
4 at the earliest. we're getting close. They're going to be getting close to a console transition at that point. Are you going to be...
Sell your new console with it. Boom.
Launching title, Elder Scrolls 6.
Like, there's a lot of people that would still be on PS5s, right? So, like... But I think we've seen the scale and scope in which Bethesda wants to play with.
But will I have a PS5 Pro, PS5 Slim, PS5 Pro Slim?
And does a Xbox first-party developer want to make a game that's already as complicated as Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be, as any Bethesda game is, for a variety of, hardware like that? I don't know what the cost benefit analysis is, but that's my guesses would be that it's just easier and cheaper to make it for Xbox. It keeps it an exclusive.
They said for Starfield they were able to get it out a lot faster because they only had to focus on the Xbox console.
Yeah.
And Todd has gone on record to say a lot of times, like, it's just better that way as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
Like, development process is better. Not just timing, but, like, the way it just all feels.
Yeah.
Dude, I got an Elder Scrolls prediction. I know it's like forever away, but like whatever the previous Bethesda game is, they like to take some of the ideas that they had and put it in the next franchise and expand on it.
Yep.
Like they've done that with their crafting, and then like I feel like a big one that keeps carrying over was one in Fallout 4 of the tracking of items you're looking for, like the little magnifying glass. I think Elder Scrolls 6 is going to take partially on the coast, and they're gonna bring shipbuilding back, except it's gonna be boats.
Oh, boat building.
That'd be kind of
that
fun.
would be cool if it was. What if instead of like just one big inland
it's just isles
thing,
or
it's
something?
just isles.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
There's maybe like a big continent where you start and where you end, but most of the game takes place in these isles. That would be dope.
It would be a nice kind of breath of life into that franchise too, to add like a little bit of a palette change.
Anyway, we'll see in 4 to 5 to 6 to 10 years.
Yeah, they've moved the team over to develop it now, so that's good.
They've got workers on it, so
they got people. For now, I'll just play Starfield. That's fine.
Speaking of
Until
Starfield,
Indiana Jones comes out.
Hey, this is a perfect transition point. Speaking of Starfield, I quote unquote beat it this week. By no means have I played everything the game has to offer. I don't know if I ever will.
You won't. I've played countless days, weeks of Skyrim.
I have
never done everything.
Reached the end of the main quest line, and have started New Game Plus. Tyler has as well. So I just wanted to like real quick be like, yeah, after playing this, easy fanboy worthy.
Agreed.
It's
a fanboy worthy.
This is an awesome game that I will continue to probably add hours to for months and years to come.
Yeah, it's one that it's a fanboy worthy in like a recommendation sense, but for me it's a booyah.
Sure.
I love it. I have so much fun playing it. As we won't get into spoilers and like the New Game Plus stuff, but like what they've done and like their big thing, like we did something different with New Game Plus. It's so cool.
I was asking Brett about it before you got here. I was like, how does it work? And he was like,
yeah, you just can't really talk about it, but like,
because I don't think I'm close to beating the main storyline. Where am I?
I don't know. You'll have to share.
I don't know what you've done.
I need to go talk to the priest on New Atlantis. Mateo's
halfway, maybe.
Friend. I'm only halfway.
No, he's a little further than that.
2/3.
It moves pretty quick after.
It does. That's true.
Like after that
moment. It
kind
of depends on how much you want to go get like artifacts and unlock the temple stuff and like. Because there's a lot more of those that you can spend a lot of time.
Or you cannot.
It's not necessary, but it is like there's the constellation. They're part of the constellation quest lines.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, no, but like without spoiling things.
Dude, she was talking to me earlier.
She'd be listening.
If you Siri.
Quiet. Siri.
Without spoiling things, like I do think it's worth acknowledging how cool the New Game Plus thing is. what they've decided to do, how it functions is really, really cool.
Yeah.
And I can't say much more about it, but I want to.
It's interesting how they balance certain
hard.
mechanics, but also like the integrity of the story.
I love like the first decision
because it makes
given.
you
Like, I think it's so cool.
Yeah.
It's so cool. It's just
it's a game about making choices, your way, and it's how it more or less kind of wraps up that story is with a choice.
Yeah. It's cool.
And what's cool is no matter what you do, you can still play the game.
Yeah. Yes.
It's just different. Anyways, the other thing I did this week was I finished What We Do in the Shadows season 5. I didn't review season 4, but seasons 3 and 4 were pretty weak in my opinion. 4 was maybe building back. 5 is definitely back to like the seasons 1 and 2. It wrapped up a few of the weird storylines, plot lines that it had kind of. I think it tried to be interesting, but ultimately neither of them were all that interesting. Brought back some characters from earlier seasons that I appreciated, while at the same time, still having fun with those core, and keeping those relationships interesting. So I give What We Do in the Shadows season 5 a fanboy worthy. If you like that show, I think you'll like season 5. If you've been avoiding season 5 because of 3 and 4, it's better. It's a turning point for sure. So, and it'll be interesting to see. I don't know what this costs to make. I think it could be a decent ending point if it gets canceled. Like, all right, no, this is okay. I'm happy with the stories they told. They tied it up pretty nice, but at the same time, if it doesn't cost that much, I think it's a fairly popular show, so I could see it getting another couple seasons.
Awesome.
So that's what I did.
I just played Starfield, as we kind of talked about. Played more Starfield.
What level are you right now?
32.
Nice.
Yeah, like if you chug through some of the main quests, you get a lot of experience. Mm-hmm. So, but then since entering New Game Plus, I've kind of just done whatever pops up. Like I'll just be flying around and I'll get a distress signal and I'm like, ooh, what's that?
Right.
And I'll just go do it. And it's just fun, man. Like it's a good time. I went and did the Mantis stuff again. Like it's just so cool. Other than that, I've been reading a lot. Trying to knock out some books before the end of the year, and I got a couple books coming out here in the next few weeks that I really want to read. So, that's it. That and hanging out with my kid.
Nice. Love it. Luke?
I kind of mentioned it, a couple things kind of earlier. I watched the first episode of Wheel of Time.
Of season 2, right?
Of season 2.
Okay. I thought you watched season 1 already. Am
right.
I forgetting?
Dude, I was watching the previews on the Wheel of Time, and I was like, I don't remember any of this. And characters are talking, and then characters are using powers that they have, and I'm just like, okay.
I have a weird connection to Wheel of Time this week too, actually.
I'm hoping I can remember what happened. Because I did like the first season. But
I remember you saying it wasn't bad.
Yeah, it was fun. But I don't know. The Wheel of Time is just like a holdover until Rings of Power season 2 comes out for me.
The author of Wheel of Time, I was at Walmart this week.
Brady Janderson.
No.
What's his name?
Brandon Sanderson?
Rick Jordan?
Oh.
Brandon Sanderson
right.
helped finish it after Rick Jordan passed away.
I was pretty close.
Kind of. Well, anytime a really famous author or a series gets really famous and they pass away, people go into the archives and they're like, we're going to publish this book that they never released. I was at Walmart and they have a bargain book bin and I like to read. So I was like, I wonder if I can find any good scores in here. And they had his first book that never was published in there. and I picked it up.
Nice.
And apparently, like, I was looking at some of the, like, spoiler-free reviews, and like, there's a lot of the inspiration for some of the people within Wheel of Time. And I was like, that's kind of cool.
Cool.
So, I'm going to check it out.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Weird sidebar.
I have a friend who's been back in country for a while, and kind of our thing is to always watch Lord of the Rings. So over the past month, like, we binged the Hobbit movies, and we just finished Lord of the Rings last night. It was so awesome. That's our little tradition, and it's so much fun. The main thing that I did this week, though, that was super awesome was Ahsoka.
I didn't watch that yet.
Get out of here, man, and go watch it. That show is so good. Episode 5, Shadow Warrior. It was fantastic. I am just absolutely loving that show. And I hope it can just keep its run going with how much I'm liking it. It's so good. I can't wait for the new episode tomorrow night. No spoilers. Did you have nothing spoiled from that episode?
Mm-mm.
Wow, that's kind of crazy.
The only thing I have on social media during football season and now the end of baseball season
football.
is sports. Like, it's all I see. I don't see any. Like, I have to go look up game stuff or movie stuff.
I just removed the Twitter app from my phone, so it helps a lot to not be on Twitter. But yeah,
Well, then you're not getting your Division 2 updates.
dude, I know. I gotta know what's going on in locked up New York or whatever the heck that game was. What's Division 2 was? DC. Oh, yeah, sure. It never worked. But yeah, Ahsoka was the big thing that I did.
Nice.
I haven't finished the Blonde Marathon.
Ah.
I got 2 more.
2 left. Nice.
Spectre and No Time to Die.
Sweet. Cool.
Wow. Shortest episode ever. Should we start later more often? Are you tired?
Yeah. Very tired.
Next week we're planning on being back at our regularly scheduled time of 8 p.m. Central. But thank you to those of you who tuned in late this week. It was a little bit of a quieter week, but we still had lots to talk about. So,
Indeed.
Indeed. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.